And I've already ripped out the wire. Oh, yep, good stuff. Good stuff. Makes me very happy when things like that happen. Welcome to Smoke Shop. Everyone say hi, Taco. Hi. Anyway, assuming you can hear me, today's project involves prepping this trailer for selling. Not my trailer, it's just one that's stored here, but I destroyed the tail lights, so I need to replace them. And the owner put a basic black spray paint job on it. I'm going to break out the pressure washer and clean up these boards real quick just to make it pop. So we'll see you back out front. Before I forget to point it out, my concern right now is that the fuel petcock was left open. What this does is, instead of running the fuel out of the carburetor, it has left our modern crappy fuel in the carburetor, gumming it up possibly. Hopefully that's not the case. I gotta hook up the water before I can try to start this thing, but hopefully it's gonna start right up. In here. That's kind of what I figured was gonna happen. I pretty much guarantee this thing's not going to start, because I pretty much guarantee that it's gummed up with old gas because it wasn't put away correctly. And we're going to break out the old starting fluid. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it ran out the starting fluid. That's kind of what I thought would happen. Well, that was interesting. See if we can get this thing to start again. Yeah, I think it was an air thing. All right, kids, let's do this. There's definitely air in the line. Sorry guys, I thought I had all that water out of or air out of there already. I will get back today and 39. That's right, that'll be it. Awesome. And we're out of gas. Where are you? There you are. Now then, what I did, I turned off the fuel and then ran all of the fuel out of the carburetor. That prevents the carburetor from getting clogged up with crappy fuel. Well, I gotta put the pressure washer and everything away. We're not in Not necessarily away, but out of the way. In part 2, we're going to do the taillights. I don't know why I just pressure washed everything into my shop, but, you know. Stuff be happening. Stuff be happening. Oh, hey guys. Well, I bought the cheapest Amazon light kit I could find and pulled the trailer inside because I knew it was about to rain, and it's literally started raining since I walked out here. So once again, the sound's going to be screwed up, and I'm all up in your face. I'm just going to grab an adjustable wrench because that's going to be the easiest way to accomplish what I need to accomplish right now. And that is removing the existing taillight. There are 2 fasteners on the back, and I'm just going to remove them or strip them out. I'm not sure which yet. But anyway, you don't necessarily need to watch all this. Heck, I don't even want to watch all this. I can't even see it. It's pitch black back here because there's a light shining in my face. Thanks a lot, guys. The wiring and setup for this other light may not be the same. Hopefully it is. Although there are actually different holes back here now that I look for different setups. We're going to do the whole McGillicuddy. We got the theoretically solder seal connectors and all that. All I'm going to do is cut both of these wires. Set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and strip these. Let's see what we've got. Definitely much lighter weight. But with modern technology and the LEDs they're making now, excuse me, I doubt the housing even needs to be this big. Okay, so again, one of these is going to have a tag light on it. Your reflector is going to go to the outside. So anyhow, this is the light that we need. Okay. Instead of having the screws molded into it, it looks as though the bolts are squared off to fit into these slots, which is a failure point in my opinion, but whatever. White is ground. You really never know with these overseas types, Amazon products. We're going to get a flat washer, a lock washer for each side, and a nut. It looks like they've given us options to use wire nuts or the, these have a name. They're taps. They're inline taps. They are, I don't know, they have a name. So the first thing we're going to do is, I keep saying the first thing like we ain't been doing stuff this whole damn time. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter because they're not going to fit anyway, it doesn't look like. Oh yeah, it does. Just barely. Like barely. Barely. Life is but a dream. And then I am going to take the ground wire, which has a ring terminal on it, and I'm going to put it on one of these posts. And what that's going to do is when I put the nut on it, going to make it make contact with the metal trailer frame, which is grounded, theoretically. And again, I'm snugging these up. I'm not going to crank them super tight because it'll pull it right out of that housing. And basically, if you hear any type of creaking or crunching noises, you've probably already gone too far, but you definitely need to stop. Now then, so far in my experience, maybe I bought the wrong ones, but these are crap. However, I'm going to give it another chance because everybody seems to be swearing by them. Basically what I'm trying to do is get these wires kind of twisted together. By the way, I'm going brown to brown. These are things that I always think of as self-explanatory, but for people who haven't done this, maybe not. Now, with that specific thing being said, just because two wires have the same color does not mean they should be connected. I repeat, just because two wires are the same color, that does not mean they should be connected. If you don't know what you're doing with wiring, don't mess with it. You can mess some things up. Now, I'm not sure whether they recommend that you're supposed to crimp these first or not. I am going to crimp it first because that way, when the solder joint doesn't actually do anything, I still at least have something of a connection. I bought a heat gun just for this purpose. And actually, I also bought this is the reflector dealie that goes on there. Yeah. Then we're just going to plug in our heat gun, utilizing the power strip. And I've already ripped out the wire. I hope I caught that on film, because I'm going to not react to that, even though I want to. Oh, that's, yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Makes me very happy when things like that happen. Anyhow, I'm just going to stuff this in here and hit the heat gun to it, because at this point, I'm kind of irritated. Okay, the heat shrink has definitely shrunk, but again, I don't see the solder doing anything, and eventually that plastic is just going to melt to the point where it disappears if it hasn't already. Pretty sure, yeah, it's melted through the plastic long before the solder stuff ever melted. I must be missing something, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. To get that solder to any point of melting, the plastic long since has melted away. So again, that's stupid. I don't know what I'm missing about these connectors, but that's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, maybe there's still plastic around that, but I wouldn't trust it to not put tape on it. Let's just see if there's actually directions in here. Sure. Strip wire insulator with a proper length and insert wires into the solder sleeve of proper size. Twist the conductor together and move the connector to the middle of the conductor. Evenly heat by a heat gun, better with reflector nozzle, until it melts. Cool. The reflector nozzle? I guess I'm supposed to melt the reflector nozzle at this point. Just kidding, guys. I'm not going to melt the reflector nozzle. I don't know if I'm on low or high, or what you can see or can't. Oh, it's now melted to the thing. That's awesome. Okay, the solder is melting. So now we're going to turn that off. And just let it do its thing. Man, that thing's hot. Burnt the heck out of me. So again, the advantage of these is supposed to be it's a waterproof connection. And I guess maybe once the rubber melts, it's supposed to melt and flow also around the fitting, maybe. I wouldn't trust that without electrical tape on it, personally. As such, we are going to put electrical tape on it. Not that that made it waterproof, but between the two of them, hopefully there's enough there to give the new owner years of trouble-free performance. Thanks to Smoke Shop. Yeah, they didn't give us any zip ties or anything like that. We're just going to do something like that, just to keep it from hanging underneath. And now to the other side. I believe, since all we're trying to do is remove this, we're not even going to try and get fancy and undo the tape. We're just going to... Sorry, I didn't mean to punch you in the gut. Dang, dude. Sorry about that. Since I've had to retape this several times, there's a lot of tape on here. Well, I mean, a fair amount of tape. Why have I been taping it? Because I am the person who knocked it off. That's also why I'm replacing it, if I didn't mention that. So, wasp nest inside of the taillight. I don't know if you can see that or what you're even looking at. But and again, I'm just using an adjustable wrench because this isn't anything, this is not a precision operation by any way, shape, or form. And actually, what I'm going to do there is put the fresh washer on. Then I'm going to put my lock washer on. Then I'm going to put my connector on. Then I'm going to put my nut on. And again, I'm just turning these very easily. pretty much finger tight and then a little bit snug. When I say finger tight, I'm using the wrench, but I'm tightening the wrench with my fingers. I'm not putting that behind it. Again, if you hear creaking or cracking, you've gone too far already. Alright, now that allows a user to put the license plate back there so that it can get all ripped off again because it's way too low and in a terrible place. But I didn't design it. I'm just trying to get it back to factory specifications. Each one of them acts differently whenever I use these things. This one actually flowed some solder. They both did. Okay, cool. Good. I still don't like these things. I think they're stupid. Just like I started this saying. And again, I'm putting electrical tape on them because I don't think that connection's worth a hoot. As I just said, to keep them from getting immediately ripped off. Although this isn't going to be enough. Really. Okay, well, coming up next, the test. Oh, well, that'll be satisfying in the ASMR department. We're going to now hook back up to the truck, and then Taco can do his part. We're going to do the taco test, which would entail plugging in and seeing if everything works. Alright guys, we're hooked up. Let's see what happens. Lights. Oh, we only got one side. That's good. How is it? Oh my gosh, that's gonna make me very angry. This is clearly a manufacturing defect because the marker light on the side is on. So we're getting power. Are you kidding me? Ah, there we go. Good as new. Well, that's ridiculous. But anyway. So that's headlights on. And now in order to test the other lights, we're just going to turn on the hazard lights. Looking good. Ta-da! Okay guys, I completely had to come back outside to do this because I forgot to do it before. Hopefully there's not too much background noise. Can't believe I forgot to do this. Alright, ready guys? Dang it. There we go. Hopefully that was as good for you as it was for me. Resident frequency is the subject of today's video. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm just brewing some coffee, and I needed to film an outro because I wasn't going to put one in this video, but I decided that I like the outro, whether anybody else does or not. So the footage that you theoretically just watched was actually filmed a while ago. I'm kind of getting into a rhythm. This is the rhythm. I'm kind of getting into a rhythm now that I've decided not to do a Sunday video. Back into a new schedule that I am creating, if that makes any sense. I have several videos started between weather and parts not arriving yet. They've been put on hold, but I already do have this Wednesday video ready to go, except for the outro. So this is where I usually let everybody know that our subscriber count currently is 253. It was 254 briefly and went back to 253. We had another short timer. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. As always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.